They were finally free. After generations of bondage, after the cries, the lashes, the endless nights of suffering, the children of Israel moved forward together. Egypt was behind them. Hope was supposed to be in front of them. God had done what no one thought possible. Plagues had shaken the greatest empire on earth. The Nile had turned to blood. Darkness had swallowed the land. Death had passed through Egypt while Israel was spared. Pharaoh, once unmovable, had finally bent beneath God's power. Moses had led the people out in haste, stepping into a future they had prayed for but never fully believed. For the first time, their steps were not forced. Their backs were not bent beneath whips. Their children walked beside them, not behind them. They were free. But freedom felt strange. They had left Egypt quickly, but Egypt had not left them. Their bodies were free, but their minds still carried chains. They remembered the shouting. They remembered the pain. They remembered waking each day knowing they belonged to someone else. Bondage trains the heart to expect suffering. Even when God opens doors, the past whispers that freedom won't last. It reminds you of who you used to be. It tells you that hope is fragile, that fear is safer than faith. That is why uncertainty returned so quickly. As the celebration faded, questions began to rise. Where would they sleep tonight? What would they eat tomorrow? How would they survive in a land they had never known? The wilderness offered no answers. Faith is tested not only in danger, but in the silence that follows a miracle. And then the rumors began. Pharaoh had changed his mind. Back in Egypt, regret twisted into rage. Pride burned hotter than reason. Pharaoh gathered his chariots, horses, commanders, and the strongest warriors of Egypt. The same ruler who let them go now pursued them. Soon, the sound reached the camp. A distant rumble, then a growing roar. The thunder of wheels and hooves. Chariots. The ground trembled beneath their feet. People turned. Faces drained of color. Panic spread through the crowd like fire. Behind them stood Pharaoh's army. Ahead of them stretched the Red Sea. No road, no bridge, no escape. The sea was wide and unyielding, dark and endless. Behind them, the dust cloud of the enemy grew closer with every passing heartbeat. Parents clutched their children. Voices rose in fear and anger. Some cried out to God. Others turned on Moses. Why did you bring us out here to die? Were there no graves in Egypt? You should have left us there. Fear always looks for someone to blame. They had witnessed miracles. They had seen God defeat Egypt with undeniable power. But now they were trapped, and this moment demanded trust without explanation. And trust is hardest when the way forward looks impossible. Moses stood before the people, surrounded by chaos, yet unmoved. He lifted his voice above the shouting. Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Stand still. Not fight. Not run. Not panic. Stand still. The command sounded impossible. How do you remain still when danger is close enough to hear? How do you quiet your heart when fear is louder than faith? Beside him, Miriam lifted her head. Her tambourine in hand, she looked across the faces of the people. Mothers, children, elders. All eyes were on her. She sang softly at first, a song of hope carried through the camp. Her voice was steady, warm, and unshakable. Mothers hummed along, children clutched her skirts, and even the elders felt courage return. Miriam's song reminded them that God had delivered them before and would not abandon them now. Then Moses turned toward the sea and raised his staff, exactly as God commanded, and the wind began to blow. At first, nothing changed. The sea remained closed. The enemy remained near. The fear remained heavy. But the wind did not stop. It grew stronger, steady, and relentless. Night fell. Darkness surrounded the camp. The people waited, unsure, exhausted, afraid. Hour after hour passed. Children slept in their parents' arms. Elders whispered prayers. Others stared into the darkness, watching the sea, wondering if this was truly God's plan. Some questioned obedience. Some questioned Moses. Some questioned God. The enemy was still there. The threat was still real. But God was working in ways they could not yet see. Sometimes deliverance begins in darkness. Sometimes the miracle takes time. Sometimes God moves slowly so faith can grow deeply. The wind continued, and then slowly the waters began to shift. The sea pulled back. What once blocked them now opened. Walls of water rose on either side, held in place by the power of God. A path of dry ground appeared where no road had ever existed. God had made a way. Not around the sea, not over the sea, through the sea. Moses stepped forward first, staff raised, heart pounding. Then the people followed. They walked between towering walls of water, hearing the roar restrained by God's hand. Each step felt unreal, yet solid beneath their feet. Fear turned into awe. Doubt turned into wonder. Tears replaced panic. Miriam walked ahead, tambourine raised high. She led the people in song even as they crossed, each note ringing like a declaration. God is faithful. Courage replaced fear. Awe replaced doubt. Family by family, step by step, they moved forward. Some hurried, afraid the walls might fall. Others slowed, overwhelmed by what they were witnessing. Children reached toward the mist in the air. When the last of the Israelites reached the other side, Pharaoh's army charged in after them. Blinded by pride, driven by rage, certain that power still belonged to them. They followed the same path, assuming the miracle would serve them too. But the God who opens paths also closes them. At the appointed moment, the waters rushed back. Chariots were overturned. Horses vanished. The army that once ruled Israel was swallowed by the sea. By morning, silence replaced terror. The people stood on the shore, staring at the proof of deliverance. What chased them was gone. What trapped them was defeated. What terrified them no longer had power. Relief washed over faces long familiar with fear. Some fell to their knees. Some lifted their hands. Some wept without words. And worship erupted where fear once ruled. Miriam lifted her tambourine high. She danced along the shore, calling the women and children to join her. Songs of victory filled the air, echoing across the sands where Pharaoh's army had been swallowed. Her leadership and joy reminded the people that freedom is not only survival, it is worship, it is gratitude, it is a declaration of God's power. They danced where death had threatened them only hours before. But worship did not erase memory. They would still face deserts. They would still face hunger. They would still face moments of doubt. Freedom did not mean ease. The Red Sea did not remove every struggle. It revealed who they must trust in every struggle. God was teaching them something deeper than escape. He was teaching dependence. The sea was not only crossed, it was remembered. so every future fear would have a past victory to answer it. Some seas do not look like water. They look like diagnoses, deadlines, broken relationships, closed doors, moments where forward feels impossible. And behind you may be things you thought you escaped, now chasing you again. But the lesson of the Red Sea still stands. God does not rush fear. He parts it. He does not always remove the enemy immediately. Sometimes he creates space first. Space to walk, space to breathe, space to trust. This is the same God who still makes a way. When you are trapped between what's behind you and what's ahead, when fear is loud and answers feel silent, stand still. The God who parted the sea is still working, even when you cannot see it yet. If this story encouraged you, stay with us. Subscribe for powerful biblical stories, faith-filled encouragement, and reminders that when there seems to be no way, God still makes one.